Alrighty guys, so we've developed a new rattle in the exhaust system, and I'm not passing emissions. Barely, but I'm barely not passing emissions. I believe those two things have something to do with each other. This is why we're currently looking at the catalytic converter. I believe this guy, as you can hear, I think that's our culprit. There's nothing else loose. I think the material that holds the honeycomb, that stuff, the material that holds that in place has come loose, is deteriorated, and it's allowed the catalyst to bounce around in there and gases escape around the catalyst. So we're going to go ahead and cut this guy off and get it replaced today. Ta-da! Alright, let's take a look inside here. First off, let's shake it. Yeah. My hunch was right. Doesn't look like the catalyst. Oh, nope, never mind. I was gonna say, it doesn't look like the catalyst is damaged. It is. There's the reason why I wasn't passing emissions. You can see it's a little clogged back there even. I wonder if somebody didn't do a break-in procedure. Though this thing has lived this long, and it's finally dead. Oh, there's actually a flow. Little arrows right here. It says flow. It looks like they had installed it backwards. Looks like the flow says, can't really tell. Maybe that way. Anyways, I got this new cat. I picked this one because it was the cheapest. We're also going to need a plug for this. I have a plug, but not here currently. But be able to put a plug in that. Be able to use this guy. That plug's set up for a downstream O2 sensor. This is a catalytic converter that is set up for OBD2, I believe, possibly OBD1. OBD2 catalytic converters usually filter a little bit better than catalytic converters that are set up for, like this, would be, I can't think of what it's called. I think it's a smog pump. Anyways, yeah, it's quite the gap to be trying to fill with not a whole lot of pipe. So, I'm gonna have to figure something out. Put something in between. Now, if you guys remember, sorry for the flickering. See if I can. Nope. It doesn't like being turned up higher. Don't know why it's flickering so bad, other than the little LED light. If you guys remember, this is the down pipe that we installed on the muffler when we put the muffler on. Kept this little chunk of steel around, and that might just be enough. Yeah, that should be enough length so we can weld this guy onto the pipe like that. Oh, something like that. Weld it on, and then this guy will get welded onto the pipe. I knew I was keeping this little piece around for something. Came off of that down pipe. It's amazing how rusty it looks already. It's only been on there for a couple months. Or a month. Couple months. Anyways, I ended up cutting it off so it could slide into the muffler here. Well, it's not pretty. Again, I'm using my flux core welder. Not that I've mentioned that in this video yet, but I'm using it again. It's not the prettiest. If I was using my flux core on a thicker piece of metal, it would look a heck of a lot better. But turning that thing all the way down, trying to get it to stop burning through this, it's real hard to get a pretty weld. Sooner or later, I'm going to have a place that I can actually run my 240 welder, my actual MIG welder. With that thing, I can make beautiful welds. But we don't have that option right now. Let's get this thing welded in place. Alrighty, got it all fit up into place. Obviously going to weld it up here, and weld it on back here. We're going to have to sound like a tractor for a minute until I stop by and get that plug. But until then, I'm going to have a new catalytic converter installed. I just got to do a little bit of gap welding on this side. Not too bad. Should be able to weld that up pretty easy. Just make it as centered as possible. Do a tack weld and then weld it in. Front side fits real tight, so I'll be able to weld that guy in. This is a 2-inch inner diameter catalytic converter. Or is it outer diameter? I can't remember. I'll put it up on screen. But seems to fit just right. It'll do the ticket. If I had the time and the patience, I'd put in a piece of flex pipe right here to stop the catalytic converter from shaking so bad. But the other one lasted for years, months. I don't know how long. I didn't put that one on, so yeah. Can almost drive around just the way it is. It's like I said, that front side's tight. It's probably almost airtight as it is. Alright, let's get this thing welded up. Alrighty, we're all welded up. Again, not the prettiest, but it'll work. So, what you do now, there is a break-in procedure a lot of people don't know about. You start the engine, let it idle for about 15 minutes. Shut it off and let it cool down. I usually let it cool down for about 30, as long as it gets cool. And then you start it back up, and you run it for about 15 minutes again, and let it cool down. After it's cooled down, you start it, let it warm up for about 5, and you drive around really easy. Just do your normal day-to-day. I usually don't go on the freeway. And then if you shut it off, you know, you go or drive to the store or whatever, you go inside, do your shopping, come out, and then you're allowed to just drive it normally. From what I understand, the reason why you do that, and I have found those instructions online, by a manufacturer of catalytic converters, and the reason why you do it is there's the catalyst inside, and there's a material around that catalyst that's partially made of a type of rock. Can't remember what it is, but when you first start it up and it warms up, that stuff will actually react and can expand, and that's why you don't want to be driving it hard or really be driving it at all. You want it to be nice and easy so that it will allow it to expand and then cool down. And then again, the second time you start it, kind of does the same thing. It will expand, will start to solidify. When you shut it down, it cools down again. And then when you go for a drive, that kind of cements it in place. It just more guarantees that it's going to work better or for longer. I've done it for a couple of years. There's been a lot of years that I didn't do that type of break-in. Never really had an issue, but that's now the procedure I do every time I do a catalytic converter. That's what we'll be doing with this guy. I've got to start it up here and let it warm up. I'll do that off camera though. But hopefully, and I'm pretty sure, we are going to pass emissions now. Now that we have a full catalytic converter and not half a one. I also wonder if I won't have just a smidge more power, because that cat was definitely plugged. Probably part in by the bits and pieces that were getting flung all over from the front half of that cat. So, yeah, I'm excited. Be nice to get this thing past emissions again. It passed emissions the first time, but not the second time. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up here, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video. And we're going to move on to other repairs that we got to do. Alright, so I just went and looked online, just for the heck of it. And it seems like it's a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to breaking in a catalytic converter. There's some brands that you don't have to break in the catalytic converters, but if you're getting an off-brand, you probably want to do it. I'm actually starting to smell this one. But what you want to do, the instructions that I found that I had forgotten a little bit of, it's 15 minutes of runtime, let it cool down, then you start it again, you bring the RPMs up to 15 to 2500 RPM for about 5 minutes, then let it idle down, let it cool a little bit before shutting it off. You shut your engine off, let it cool down again, and then you're allowed to do some driving around. Just light driving, no full throttle, until like your third or fourth heat cycle of the catalytic converter. That being said, there's a lot of different instructions out there. There's some that even say put it in and go for a 30-minute drive. There's some that say that you've got to do the 15 minutes and then a 30-minute drive. It's a mixed bag. If you want to do a break-in, go look online. Pick the one that seems to be the most reasonable, the one that makes the most sense. I think the one that makes the most sense to me is cycling it 2 or 3 times, like I'm doing now. I'm letting it warm up. I'll let it then cool down, warm it up again, and then I'll end up driving it about 30 minutes. So it's about time to go to work. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this video was informative and entertaining. You don't always have to weld your catalytic converters in, but I prefer to, but that's just me. You don't have to do that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. It helps me with the algorithm. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. That'd be awesome. I've got a lot of videos on this van, a lot of small engine stuff coming up again as soon as the weather starts warming up. But I try to put out some good quality videos for you guys. I really do hope you enjoy. See you later.